How's it going, my friend?
How's it going, buddy? How you doing today?
Good. I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
That's good to hear.
How are things in Minnesota, don't you know?
Oh, don't you know it's been cold? It's been real
Oh,
cold.
yeah. That's what
So
I
I think
hear.
it's really helped kind of tamper stuff down. So it's been kind of nice.
Yep. Yep. That's helped a little bit. That's good.
Well, it's been
Excellent.
really nice stuff. There we
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm getting her figured out. So you'll like
Awesome.
this. I don't know if
Awesome.
you'll be able to see it in the background. Oh, it's too
Oh,
small.
nice. I love it.
Yeah.
That's
So
beautiful, man. That's
heck
beautiful.
yeah, man. So all right. Sorry, just hitting a few
Love it.
buttons. Getting
Yeah,
things
man. Take
done.
your time. Take your time.
All right. I am ready to go whenever you are.
Awesome, man. Very cool. Well, welcome back. It's really nice to have you back with us. We had a really great time the last time we did this.
Oh, it was
And
a
I think,
2-hour conversation. It was
yeah,
beautiful.
2 hour
Great, great,
conversation
great.
felt like 20 minutes.
I know, absolutely
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it was just a great conversation. And tonight we're gonna be talking about what would Charlie say? Brand new installment, brand new series, and it's gonna be very interesting.
Absolutely.
For sure. So I'll be interested in your thoughts, what you think. Kind of maybe we can start off with kind of an update from your perspective since you're in Minnesota, don't you know? And then
So,
it'll be fun to get your insight into what you think Charlie would say about everything that's going on up there. I mean, we've got not only ice, we got the fraud, we got these local leaders up there that are really kind of misbehaving, and now we've got
oh yeah.
on top of all that, we got this crazy church thing on Sunday. So you know, it's going to be interesting.
Well, Minnesota has always been ground zero for all these crazy things that have been happening, and it's kind of getting tiring as a
Yeah,
as you're a fellow Minnesotan and driving
yeah,
us nuts. But
yeah,
as far as that church thing goes,
yeah.
honestly, completely wrong. You're
Right.
impeding on somebody else's
Exactly,
constitutionally guaranteed rights of religion
exactly.
and all that stuff. And if you're impeding on that, there are acts of Congress, like I think it was the FACE Acts and stuff like that, that
Yep.
makes it a felony offense to actually do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank goodness for these laws. Thank
Yep.
goodness. Because if we didn't have these laws, if we didn't have these protections, here in this great country of ours,
Oh yeah.
it'd be like Somalia. We'd be living in a third world country where, or Nigeria, where they storm into churches and they start slaughtering Christians with machetes, you know.
Yeah.
So this is why we
Absolutely.
have, thank God, we have the country that we have, the laws that we have. This country was built on human decency, right?
Absolutely. I think that's
Yeah,
the founding fathers had that whole idea is you come here to freely
exactly.
worship what you want to do and if you really think
Exactly.
about it, we're a country based on Christianity.
Yeah,
So it's is
exactly.
really what's going on. It says it on our money. It says it on a lot of our state seals and God we
That's
trust.
right.
Like
That's right.
so they thought about this stuff.
That's right. That's right.
Hmm.
They say that money talks.
Oh yeah.
If so, what does it say?
That bullshit walks.
Four simple words we see every day.
What's up?
In God we
Oh yeah.
trust. Amen, brother. Amen.
Amen.
Um,
So yeah, you know that a lot of Charlie Kirk's content, they actually did talk about illegal immigrants and stuff like that with people. Said it's really interesting. You wanted to do that.
yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, by the way, I just want to set some ground rules here for the gold standard. If you're here to agree, glad you're here, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. We got 47 people in here. And, if you're here to disagree, welcome. Glad you're here. Make sure you subscribe. And just like Charlie Kirk always said, if you disagree, come to the front of the line, grab the microphone. We'd love to hear from you. But here's the deal, we're not here to wrestle with the comments section. We won't be doing that
Yep.
tonight. We're here to talk to people who actually want to think. So if all you've got is insults, well, that tells us one thing: you've got no argument. So you might as well move along. But, I hope you stay because guess what? You might learn something, don't you know?
Don't you know? And I've seen a couple of ones. Somebody did say Jesus is king, and absolutely, I'm glad that person is
Amen.
here and is going to make comments like that. Amen. So,
Amen.
and yes,
Amen.
we all have opinions, and that's the
Yeah,
guaranteed right of the First Amendment. And you know
exactly.
what? You know what that also makes me think that we don't live in a tyrannical or a fascist country because we're able to do these kind of conversations.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you want to know what a dictator is, go to China and see how that works out for you. All right. They don't let you do
Absolutely.
stuff like this in China.
No, no, it's heavily regulated. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yep,
If you criticize the government, you get no credit, you get no job, you get no money, you get nothing. They have social credit scores over there.
that's what I was going
And
to say. They have a social credit score. Is
yeah.
there was actually a what was it? The TV series Black Mirror. Have you ever heard of that?
Yep. I love that. I
And they
love that
actually did an
series, man.
episode based on that, and
I
that
know.
was
I saw
really,
that.
really interesting.
I saw that. It's crazy to think. It's crazy to think. I mean, this is like, the Black Mirror is kind of like the Twilight Zone, like what I grew up with,
Oh yeah,
And
I remember the Twilight Zone.
yeah, and it's good stuff. And it's like, some of this stuff you're like, science fiction is coming true, just like Orwell, George
Yeah,
Orwell, 1984. He thought he was writing a science fiction or, fiction novel,
yep,
and turned out it was all true. It all came true. He was a prophet, and this is what happens. So, anyways, we're gonna stay focused on ideas, not hecklers. So, hey, if you're here to talk and debate, real ideas, then welcome. Because this is the adults talking now, and if that's not your thing, no problem. That's fine. But
absolutely.
let's get right into it here. I'm gonna tell you some key points. Well, first of all, um, is there anything else that you want to share, Cowboy, about what's going on in Minnesota right now?
Oh, I love the fact. Did you see the subpoenas that were sent out?
Yes,
So
yes,
they're doing an investigation within every one of them, and that's going to be very interesting because
yes,
what they're going to be looking for is charging them basically on impeding federal agents and
exactly,
giving them help. So
exactly.
I, this is going to be huge. If
Yeah,
charges are actually brought up about that, it's going to be historical.
yeah,
Like it'll
exactly.
be crazy. And I've seen some of these, and not debating, but these inside your comment section, they are laying out groundwork within Greenland, and I guess Trump is going to get some agreements signed, which
Yep.
I don't understand why people are against this because
Yeah,
literally it's another form of defense
yeah,
on that area.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Europe should be glad. We're protecting Europe.
Oh yeah,
Come on, man.
we've done that for a long time. Come on now.
Yeah.
World War I, we
Since
saved them. World War II,
yeah,
we saved them. Like we have to give the
exactly.
French credit though. They did save us in the Revolutionary War, so we
That's
do have to
true.
give them a little credit.
That's true. They helped us a lot. Thanks to Benjamin Franklin, who went over
Yeah.
there and secured that deal. But yeah, this is the Green New Deal. This is the real Green New Deal.
Well, the real one.
And it's the real Green Deal,
Yeah.
and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be good. And the thing is, people don't understand that there's been a Cold War, literally Cold War, going on up in the Arctic for years now. Russia and China, they're setting stuff up there. They're all over the place on the Arctic, and Trump
Well, you got
knows
to
it.
remember, they did that during World War II. The Germans
Yep,
were in Antarctica. They set up
that's
bases
right.
there and did some crazy things.
That's right.
And again, it's positioning. It's what the everyday people don't really think about when it comes to
No,
strategy. So it's
exactly.
having the early warning systems on like having a
Yep,
radar base that's in
yep,
Iceland or
yep,
Greenland,
yep,
sorry.
yep.
And just the ability to be able to see from that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And somebody told me one time, helped me out here a little bit, you know, uh, Iceland is green and Greenland is ice. That's how you
Yeah.
remember.
Exactly. I put it backwards too. So, and I suppose a lot of people wouldn't believe that either, though.
Yeah,
But
no. And the thing is, we've got the Golden Dome in the Golden Age with the gold standard, don't you know?
yeah,
And we need Greenland for the Golden Dome.
yeah, we absolutely do.
Oh,
And I don't understand why anybody be against that for
no.
the sheer fact it's for the benefit of everybody involved.
Yeah, and Greenland's going to win. The United States is going to win. And Europe's going to win. We're all going to win. It's a win-win-win.
Yep.
And the
Well, the
only
thing
people
is, and
that
I truly believe that the Cold War never really ended.
no,
It's the leaders
that's true.
changed and whatever else, but the Cold War never really ended.
That's right. That's very true.
Mhm.
Well, I'm glad we got that squared away, and I love the fact that uh, you know Trump just went over there and schooled all those globalists and all
Oh
those
yeah.
European leaders that think they know. They think they're so smart. They think they're so smart, but they're driving their own continent into the ground. And
Yep.
Trump's like calling them on it. He's like, you know what? Uh, Globalism doesn't work. Socialism doesn't work. Open borders don't work. You
Nope.
guys better get your act together, or you're done. And why should we keep saving your ass? Why?
You're not wrong. It's the same thing as when they were talking about the defense budgets, is the fact that the United States is basically the military arm of NATO and we foot the
Yep,
bill of all their defenses. Just because
exactly.
we have about $1 trillion in our own defense doesn't mean we need to cover all of our allies. They need to be able to
Exactly.
pull their own weight too.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. So I just love Trump is just telling them the way it is over there, and he's not
Oh
taking
no.
any crap. And he's not taking any crap from, Gavin Newscom over there. And
Bruce
he's
and
trying.
Newsom?
Yeah, what a joke. And his
Oh yeah.
sugar daddy, Alex Soros, you know. Anywho, well, let's get back to ice in Minnesota, don't you know? Because it's
You
cold
know,
up there. It's
it
cold
is
up there,
cold up in the
don't you
north end.
know? Well, here's what I want to do. So this is a brand new installment, a brand new series called "What Would Charlie Say?" Which basically the idea is, we're conjecturing. It's all sort of conjecture of
Yep.
based on what we know about Charlie and whatnot. What would he think? What would he say about what's going on with blank? And we're just fill in the blank. And tonight, it's all about ice in Minnesota and what's going on up there. So
Mhm.
basically, what I want to do is I want to give you kind of like a point, a point that I think Charlie would make if he were still here. Which, by the way, God rest his soul. Um, I still can't believe he's gone. I still can't believe we're talking about him in the past tense.
Yep.
But be that as it may, we're basically just going to honor Charlie. This is a way to honor Charlie by thinking through, like, maybe what would he say, what would he be thinking about this particular situation with ice in Minnesota, which I'm hoping that things are going to start tampering down. I really do
I
think
hope so.
that Trump won once again, and there might be a few little incidents here or there, but I think this is all going to blow over now. I think they all realize that they can't win. You can't.
No.
Kind of like that old song. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the
Oh,
law won.
every time I see those, like these arrests and stuff that are
Yeah,
that are genuinely needed, I'll take those clips and I'll throw that song underneath it. It's just great.
exactly,
So
exactly.
it's so much fun because they
Yeah,
put themselves in that situation.
yeah,
They
and
absolutely
it's
do, and then the
it's
narrative is fun.
exactly. And what's so interesting is, um, you know, eh, I mean, they're the insurrectionists. That's what I don't
Absolutely.
get. I'm like, you can't fight the federal government and not call yourself an insurrectionist. So, anyways, here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do with you, cowboy. I'm gonna throw out what I think Charlie would say about this situation. I want you to comment. All
Okay,
right. How's that work? Does that
that
sound
works
good?
for me. Absolutely.
Awesome. And I just want to pause real quick and just kind of say, hey, thanks for being part of the gold standard. We've got 64 people in here. We got 6 likes. And I'm just really excited that we've got people in here that, just care about what we think and say. And it's an honor. It's a huge honor. And, you know, I'm thankful for everybody in here. Please subscribe. Please throw some likes our way. And we have a goal tonight of just $10 for gifts, and 15 new subscribers for the gold standard, and 100 jewels. We can do it. I know we can. So those are our goals: $10, 15 new subscribers, and 100 jewels. And I just want to say, if the gold standard has brought you value, clarity, encouragement, perspective, gifts and jewels are the way we keep doing this. We keep the lights on. So that's what it's all about. All right. Awesome. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to Cowboy. Check out his channel. Everybody in the Gold Standard, check out Cowboyarrell. He's got a great channel. He does some great stuff. And I love listening to him. I love what he has to say about things. And more than anything, what I love about Cowboy is his humility and his, oh, Howard, thanks, buddy.
Are coming
10
in
bucks.
clutch.
That's awesome, man. You're the best. Thank you. Thank you for that gift, Howard. Thanks for being here too. It's great to know that you're in here with us. And uh I just love Cowboy's humility, his real and genuineness. He's just a real guy. Just a real guy, just telling you what he thinks. Doesn't get riled up. He doesn't get all worked up. He just tells you like it is, tells you what he thinks. And I love that, man. I love that about you.
Absolutely. Thank you. So
Yeah.
that's just the way you do it is approach a situation just like that because
Yeah.
what's the point of fighting right or left? Because I even seen a comment there asking for Republican or whatever else. What does it matter? At
Yeah.
this point, what does it matter? Right versus left? It's right versus wrong is what's going on.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's the big thing. And so Charlie Kirk said is, when people stop talking, bad
Yep.
things happen.
That's
So
right. That's
yep.
right. Absolutely. Yeah. So if you're new or if you're just joining us, this is the gold standard. No filter, no fear, just pure gold. Thanks for being with us tonight. So, when it comes to ice in Minnesota, I think the first thing that Charlie would say is number one, federal law is not optional. Federal law is not optional. Charlie would start there. He would say immigration enforcement is federal jurisdiction, period. States can cooperate, states can refuse to cooperate, but states cannot actively obstruct federal law and then claim moral superiority. What say you, Cowboy?
I completely agree. As federal law does supersede state law to a certain extent,
Mhm.
we have constitutional rights as it comes to states, but at the end of the day, it's federal law is federal law. It's the
Yeah.
same thing as they're saying that ICE officers and Border Patrol are not cops. That's completely wrong. They are federal police officers
Yep.
where their mission first is immigration. But if you do commit a felony in front of them, they will stop you. They can arrest you. They can do whatever they need to do. So
Yep.
they're doing their jobs. And I
Yeah.
think that Charlie Kirk would agree with that is 100% that he did content where he talked about that.
Yep.
And countries need borders. We cannot
Absolutely.
have an open country because you don't know who's coming in. They can't be vetted. You don't know what they're bringing with them, who they are, where they're from.
Yep.
You don't know any of this. When they come in through anything other than a port of entry, you cannot verify who that person is.
Exactly. Exactly. And we have to take it seriously, man. We have to take this stuff
Yep.
seriously, or we literally won't have a country anymore. Hey, I love this comment right here. Miguel Kahuna, 7958. I completely
Yep.
agree with you all day. Charlie Kirk's legacy.
And that's
Amen.
exactly right. Is Ben Shapiro? I don't agree with 100% of what he says, but he's the one that flat out said we need to pick up that bloody mic and continue what he was doing. And
Exactly.
yes, you guys are here to listen to us have a conversation about this, and we should be grateful that we have the First Amendment to do so.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely. And we're going to be celebrating 250 years of this right here coming up. Coming up very
Oh,
soon, right? Sorry, you can't see that too good, but
that's
this
the
is the
color of the background. Yeah.
yeah, the Declaration of Independence, one of the most ingenious documents ever written by human hands. Unbelievable. Everybody needs to read up on it, read it again, study it. Look at those names that signed it. Those
And just
people.
think of what they did.
Yeah,
Those people were truly felonious of what they were doing. They committed treason against the kingdom,
that's right.
and they all knew they were under threat of death doing so. But
Exactly.
even in the
Exactly.
federal favor, give me liberty or give me death. You know what I
That's right.
mean? Like that's
That's
all
right.
they asked for.
That's right. Yeah, because they understood that living under tyranny, living as a slave, is not living. Yeah, I'd rather die
Correct.
than that. So they're like, either give me liberty or give me death, and they laid their lives on the line. And my favorite line or second favorite line of the whole document is at the very end, the very last line that says, and for support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
because they knew what they were doing. They were
Yeah,
building something newer and something
yeah,
better.
yeah,
Is
exactly.
the whole thing started no taxation without representation. And I know
Hmm.
I'm going off on a tangent now because I also
Oh,
agree with that still. I
yeah,
think that the way that the founding fathers would look at how our country is today, they
yeah.
would literally be rolling in their graves.
Yep, absolutely, they would be. We got 53 people in here. We got 9 likes. Hey, if you're new to the gold standard, make sure you subscribe. Throw some likes our way. Give us some encouragement. Some jewels would be really nice as well, just to make us feel better, make us feel good about what we're doing. All right, my next line here that I believe that Charlie would believe and say about what's going on with Minnesota and ICE. What would Charlie say? He would say sanctuary policies are not compassion.
No.
They are chaos. And let me just elaborate here and then I want to get your take, Cowboy.
Yep.
Charlie would say this bluntly. Sanctuary policies don't protect immigrants. They protect politicians from accountability because
Yep.
when something goes wrong, no one's responsible. No data, no transparency, no consequences. That's exactly what we're seeing in Minnesota right now. What do you say?
Absolutely. So, and like you just said, it is keeping them from, look at people like Lincoln Riley and all these people that have been hurt
Yeah.
by illegal immigrants. And there's names that you can
Oh,
go on and on about this.
yep.
But sanctuary cities, all you're doing is helping the criminals.
Yep.
Like the ICE is looking at these guys like, and I seen a video the other day. They rolled up and they rolled down the window. They're like, "You were trying to stop us from catching a child predator," and you could hear in his voice that he wasn't lying about that. That's
No.
that's all they were trying to do. And yes, they are targeting criminals first. And but if they come in the wake of another person that is not documented to being here, it doesn't matter what they are, 20 years or whatever else, you have that time to fix your status
Yep.
and get them taken care of.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and the sanctuary city thing is actually hurting their own citizens. Think
It
about that.
absolutely is.
Basically what you're saying. I mean, you're like what you just said. You just stopped us from picking up a child predator.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Just
You
by
know.
whistling, doing the whistle things and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
impeding on federal officers, and which we shouldn't be doing anyways. So
No.
I
No. All right. So I also think Charlie would remind everybody. He would remind everyone why ICE exists in the first place. Why does
Yep.
ICE exist? Well, ICE doesn't exist because Americans hate immigrants. ICE exists because every country on earth enforces its borders.
Oh yeah, you look at some of these countries in Europe, like Poland. Poland,
Yeah,
for example, if you cross their border illegally, it's
yeah,
a hell of a lot more serious than here. And
yep,
their border patrol has the right to shoot people coming across the border if they feel
yep,
necessary.
yep.
So
Same
that's
with
that's just as they protect their borders very, very heavily.
yeah. Same with Hungary.
Yep.
Hungary is really, really fierce about their border, and it makes sense. It just makes sense. I mean, we don't live in a hippie utopia
No.
where, everything is just rainbows and unicorns and borders don't matter and I mean, yeah, would that be a wonderful world if we lived in a world where we didn't need borders? Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
That
it's
would
never
be
worked.
that would be heaven on earth. And when Jesus Christ returns and establishes a new heaven and a new earth, it'll be like that. We won't need borders
Yep.
because it will be a utopia. It will be a perfect world, but that's not the world we live in. And until the Prince of Peace comes and sets up true peace, true world peace, there will never be a utopia. There will never
No.
be such a thing as true world peace. We live in a fallen world. We live in a world of sinners, basically, including
Absolutely.
myself. And we have to like deal with reality. You
We do.
can't work in a world where you can't face reality, you know. So, anyways, um, and I think, one of the things that Charlie would say about this is he would say, borders aren't about race.
No, they're not.
Borders are not about race. They're about law, sovereignty, and consent. Very simply, right? And I have a comment or a question comment to the audience. Name one country that doesn't enforce immigration law,
That's a good question.
or doesn't enforce their own borders. Now, I guess you could call some countries in Europe as questionable with that because their immigration is so lenient, and they've allowed a lot of immigrants in.
I
But
mean, if you really look at it, look at the people of France right now. Look at the people
yeah,
of Great Britain that are saying they want immigrants out of their country because there are places in England that you can't go into as a white person or whatever else or a non-Muslim. They attack you.
yep, exactly, exactly right. Hey, just a
And
quick reminder. Just a
yeah,
quick reminder. Super chats and super thanks are open. The gold standard is part of the YouTube partner program. If you would like for us to read one of your comments or questions live on the show, super chats are the way to go. I'm seeing a lot of comments. I'd love to read one of these and respond to it, but it'll cost you. So, anyways, Cowboy, what were you saying?
I totally went off track. I was just listening to what you were saying. I'm sorry. It was actually one of the comments there, and I will address it. I'm sorry, but
Yeah, go
somebody
ahead.
said the Berlin Wall came down and we cried together. I was not.
Um,
So when that ended, what year did the Berlin Wall fall? Was it 89 or something goofy?
Somewhere it was probably, yeah, 89, 90, somewhere in there. Yeah.
So with that being said, is even I know that Reagan told Gorbachev to tear down the wall.
Yep.
So it's even though I wasn't there or in that era, it still
Yep.
means a whole lot because history is one of those deals that we
Yep.
shouldn't forget. The people
Yeah.
that forget our current history are the ones that seek to repeat it and doom themselves.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And that was a totally different situation, obviously.
Yep.
I mean, because basically what people try to use that, they try to say, well, yeah, we were all for the Berlin Wall falling, so why do we care about our border? Weren't we all for that border falling down? Well, that was a totally different situation. And I don't want to get into that right now, but you know, come on, that it's what's called uh, a false equivalent, you know, where and by the way, it was 89. You were right,
Yep.
Cowboy, 1989, November 9th, 1989.
So
And that
I
was,
may be a young pop, but I do know my
yeah,
history.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed, my friend. Yes, and I remember that day very well. I was alive then. And you know that was a thing between East and West Germany, and it was about that wall had become essentially like a prison wall
Oh yeah,
to the people of East Germany. You couldn't travel outside that wall. If you lived in East Germany, you were not allowed out, and so that was a wall keeping people in because it was basically a not only a communist regime but a totalitarian government, and you had to have special permission from the government to travel.
oh you mean
Uh,
kind of like fascism?
yeah, exactly, exactly. So totally different situation. We
Yeah,
don't have a border to keep Americans in our country.
no,
Americans are free to travel anytime they want, as long as they got a passport. They can go anywhere they want. You know.
really.
So very different scenario there, but thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, let's see. Let's go back to Charlie here. Let's see here. Where did my notes go? Um, so let's talk about the compassion narrative versus reality. I think Charlie Kirk, if he was alive today and he was watching what was going on in Minnesota, Charlie would ask a very interesting question. He would say, why is Minnesota willing to absorb the costs, schools, healthcare, housing, without ever asking the voters if they consented to that.
But you got to remember the leadership that we have in this state are basically putting themselves up on a pedestal and feel that they are doing, you know, God's work or whatever in their own image. But
Oh yeah,
I don't, they're also hurting the foundation of what we have going on. The
yeah,
fact that Walls gave illegal immigrants driver's licenses here was ridiculous. And
yeah,
people that call for voter ID and all this stuff get called racist.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And the founding fathers had something that they called the consent of the governed,
Yep.
right? And that was the idea that you don't govern us without our consent, right? We give you
Well,
the
that's exactly
consent.
it. Is the way that our representative is we are consenting them to actually run and go about what we believe. And
Exactly.
unfortunately, it's been so perverted that these people just basically bank money is the problem. Is
Hmm.
there's no reason that somebody goes into Congress and they make what $145,000 a year or
Yeah.
something goofy and
Yeah.
come out millionaires.
Yeah.
It's like, what is
Exactly.
going on here?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, look at Omar, mentally
Thirty
Ilhan
million
Omar,
dollars.
$30 million in one year.
She basically went from $50,000
Yeah.
as her total net worth to over
Hmm.
$30 million. And they say a lot of this stuff has to do with her husband's business, whatever else.
Right.
But the
Right.
fact that they're scrubbing names off of their website and doing all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, kind of
Exactly.
sketchy. And it makes me
Yeah.
feel like they're involved with, all the stuff. They could not have known the feeding our future or whatever that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. They could not have known this was going on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. And it'll be interesting to if there's a way. We got over 100 people in here right now,
Yep.
Cowboy. Wow.
Absolutely. I see that. That's
This is
awesome.
awesome. Hey, make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. Please, please, please subscribe. Don't forget. Throw some likes our way, throw some jewels our way. Um, and just give us some tips, some support, It just helps. It just helps. We appreciate you being here. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. Um, so yeah, this thing about Ilhan Omar. I mean, um, I'm trying to understand. I mean, I I keep hearing things like these TSA agents that are blowing the whistle, and they're saying that they've seen the suitcases of cash leaving the
Really?
Minneapolis airport.
Oh, that's right. I did see that where there was
Yeah.
just like undocumented amounts of money leaving our airport here.
Yep.
I did see that. And
Yep.
yeah, it's like what's going on here? It's clandestinely. Look at what's happened in the past when Obama sent like piles of money to Iran and stuff like that. Speaking of
Yeah.
which, I would want to touch on them later. I don't know if you've seen what's going on there.
No, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that. Okay, let me finish this and then we'll go
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, let's see here. We're almost done. We're almost done. Um, the chilling effect on law enforcement. I think Charlie would talk about that. He would say when local police are told not to cooperate with ICE, it creates two classes of law enforcement.
It does. You're pitting people up against each other. It's the
Yeah.
same thing as when Mayor Fry basically said that with the chief of police of Minneapolis, saying we have a limited number of police officers to
Yeah.
fight ICE on the streets. That guy's look on his face said everything it had to say,
Yeah.
and it's reasons that that kind of stuff gets said that there's subpoenas being sent out about them.
Yeah.
So that right there tells all.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be so interesting to see the evidence come out. I just want the truth. I just want the truth. I just want transparency. I just want to know. I always say if there's nothing there, if there's no there, then
Yep.
fine. Then I'll be the happiest person there is. I'll be happy as a clam. If
Absolutely.
there's absolutely no Somali fraud, then awesome. Then, I guess Nick Shirley was just asking questions that the Somalis were just too shy to answer. Maybe they're just really shy people, and maybe there's a good
Yeah.
explanation for the fact that there's no kids in these daycares.
But here, it's
You
not
know,
just here though. Like I
yeah,
seen video out of Ohio. People are doing the
exactly.
same kind of thing that Nick Shirley was doing and going to these businesses and
Yep.
apps and asking
Yep.
questions.
Yep.
And it's kind of really showing a lot.
Yep.
So
Yep. Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
happening, but we're being complicit to it by our governors not
Yeah.
doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And that's
Exactly.
there's a reason that he stepped down from running for office
Yeah,
again. Thank God,
exactly,
because he is just a
exactly.
knucklehead, as he
Yeah,
said himself.
yeah, he's a self-proclaimed knucklehead, and if there
Yep.
was nothing there, then why would he not run for governor again? If there's nothing there, if he's totally innocent, he can prove he's innocent. He can prove he knew nothing about it. Uh, you know, it was just, kind of like, I could just see him now. Well, I don't know
Yep.
what happened.
Uh,
I don't know. Yeah, you know,
the
I don't
fact
know
that
what happened.
it
It
happened
just
under his
happened.
watch is the big thing. It
I know.
literally happened under his watch
Yeah.
of a state where we had billions of dollars in surplus. That, by the way, they gave us like a couple $100 and a thank you and slap on the back and said, "Oh, you also need to claim this on your taxes." It's
Yep.
like, wasn't that my tax money anyways? Like,
Yeah.
where did
Exactly.
that money go?
Yeah.
And now we find out.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
And it'll be interesting to see, who benefited. Was it just for votes? Was it just for power? Or was there money involved? Was there 10% for the big
Money
guy?
always changes hands. That's the thing. Is money. Money is power, and power
Yep.
is money, and it's
Yep.
corruption all the way to the
Yep.
core.
Yep.
And I've seen a
Exactly.
comment earlier. It was saying, "What about the billionaires?" Here, the
Yep.
thing is people that honestly earn their money. Yeah, the fact that you're thinking about spreading wealth or there should be no billionaires, that's a scary thought too. Like
Yep.
there is a reason why they got to where they are. Not all of them are, you know,
Yep.
morally good, but they did earn what they did. So
Yeah. Exactly. By the way, just another quick reminder for everybody: if all you've got is insults, then that tells me you have no argument. So it's just silly. So if you want to just be silly, you're going to be ignored. Because I know you just want attention. Okay, I know you're starving for attention. I get it, but it's not going to work. So, okay, last point I want to make about Charlie in Minnesota and ICE is this: I think he would definitely talk about a dangerous precedent. There's a dangerous precedent here. And if we
sure.
don't deal with it, if we don't stop it, if we don't say no more, we cannot allow this kind of thing to go on. And I'm talking about the fraud. I'm talking about the impeding of ICE. All of this stuff. If
Yep.
Minnesota can nullify immigration enforcement, what stops Texas from nullifying gun laws? What stops California from nullifying federal court rulings?
Basically, if
You
you're
know?
picking and choosing what federal laws not to follow, whatever else, you're getting onto a subject that I'm real strong about because I'm
Ooh,
personal belief that any laws against the Second Amendment is an infringement on the original amendment. I believe that
exactly.
we should all have access to machine guns, but that's
Yep.
just me.
Yep. I
So,
agree. I'm with you.
yep.
Totally, totally agree. And we cannot have this precedent because this is the road. This is literally the road to fragmentation. This is how a union, a United States of America, a united country begins to fragment and it splits apart. It just literally fragments into a million pieces.
Rome, here's the thing: Rome didn't collapse in a day either.
No.
So
Right.
Caligula, he made it faster, but
Yeah.
Rome did not crash in a day.
No.
Um,
No.
every single empire has fallen, but there has literal cracks within our own civilization. And somebody commented one thing I will say on. So use the Second Amendment against ICE is what it's made for. So that person literally
Oh.
just threatened federal agents.
Yep.
So wow, if you want to change the rules, vote. Talk to your
Yeah.
representatives. That's
Exactly.
how you change the rules. You don't like what's happening, go to
Exactly.
Congress.
That's right. That's right. Exactly right. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's a federal offense to threaten a federal officer, so I'd be
Yeah,
mighty
it,
careful
it
there.
absolutely is. And here's the thing: is everybody that's watching us in our conversation we're having, we're
Mhm.
not against immigrants. We
No,
want it done the correct way. That should be
exactly.
exactly what Charlie Kirk said too. Come
Yeah.
through a proper port of entry, fix your stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. If you're not
Yeah.
here legally, you can fix that status. You can literally
Exactly.
self-report. They will give you $1,000. You
Yep.
go to your local United States, embassy, and they'll help you
Yep.
fix that status. It's
Absolutely.
very simple. They don't talk about that stuff.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So you wanted to talk about Iran?
So I seen, yeah. So and I didn't mean to bring it up and to change the conversation, but I actually just
No.
seen this a little bit ago. But they're actually armed militias that are
Oh yeah.
firing in the streets with machine guns and
Yep.
everything. It's pretty
I
crazy
saw
what's
that.
going on.
I saw
So
that.
the
And
death has continued, but now that's what they're doing. They don't have a Second Amendment, but they
yeah.
are truly under, you know, a dictatorship of sorts with their Ayatollah and stuff like that. Before, before Islam was in that country, they were a normal freaking country.
Yep.
They didn't have Sharia law and all this stuff, and now the people are rising and fighting. Just
Yep.
like when we took Maduro out of Venezuela, people cheered in the streets, yet the
Yep.
people at home here cried to free Maduro.
Yeah.
Tell me how that
Exactly.
makes sense. People
Exactly.
cheered for it, yet on the other end, you know,
Yep. Exactly. Where did I see this here? If I can find it. I saw what you were talking about, and
yeah, it's crazy.
it looked like these were outside groups coming in, like proxies of Iran, the Iranian regime, like Hezbollah, and groups like that are coming in and just slaughtering, just firing these machine guns into the crowds and at the people, off the back of the pickup truck. It's horrific.
So no, it's absolutely horrific, but it's going to turn into another Ukraine situation on different fronts, obviously. But I mean,
Yeah.
look at Ukraine. We actually have Americans that are fighting there too, and all these other people that are, standing up for what they think is wrong. So, and
Yeah.
people calling us bootlickers. What the hell does leather taste like? Do you know what leather tastes like? Because I don't.
No.
I prefer Gore-Tex.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Let's see here. Where did I see it? Oh, I'm gonna look for another spot here. Pray for the Iranians, man. Pray for
Absolutely.
the Iranian people. Um, because they're boy, they are in a tough, tough situation. And
No, because they're under true horribleness where they
yeah,
have to
I mean
fight,
it's
and thousands of people died in the streets marching against their government because, it's crazy.
yeah, yeah. And they don't have weapons. That I know of. They definitely don't have
No,
guns
they
because
don't
like
have
you
the right
said,
to. They don't have the right to own guns.
no, no. And so how do you fight when the people you're fighting against have all the guns?
When that's
That's
that's literally what our Second Amendment is for.
exactly.
So is we have the right because it's not about hunting, it's not about this and that. It's literally there for an actual tyrannical government.
Yep.
The fact that I don't see people going door to door to try to take guns makes me think we're in an okay place still.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about banning guns here. You have the right to protest. You have the right to free speech, which we're using right now. We're
Yeah.
using our constitutionally protected right to have this conversation between each other.
Yeah.
And the people here have the right to come in and listen to it. And the ones have the right to bitch about it too. And Howard, yes, Jesus is King of Kings.
Yep. Amen. Amen. Love it, Howard. Whoops. Um,
I didn't
yeah, I
think
was just
Howard was going to make it tonight, so I'm glad to see him there.
yeah, Howard, buddy. Nice. Love it, love it, love it. Um, let's see here. Yeah, I can't find that article I was looking for, but what
That's right.
you and I have both seen, what's going on there. And I at this point I am kind of wondering what is Trump doing, like
It's very
he's
interesting because what's happening here is, and we all don't have 100% of it. We're never going to
yeah,
know exactly what the
no,
government's doing,
yeah,
which honestly, I'm more for transparency, but I do understand why they do what they do.
yeah,
And from an outside observer and the readers of history, the fact that we're going after territories like Greenland and all this and that
mm,
is maybe the chess pieces are setting up
yeah,
for people that are part of that brick or whatever else and all that
right,
stuff is we're literally seeing the buildup of the Allies and the Axis powers again, which I hope does not happen.
yeah,
Because
no,
Einstein said it himself after the invention of the atomic bomb. He said, I know what World War III will be fought with, but I
yeah,
know one thing World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
yeah,
So
right,
it's a very, very scary thought that we
yes,
have
it is.
so many of these countries out here with fingers on weapons that will literally lay out cities.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. Um, yeah, and my grandfather, as I always say, this channel's dedicated to my grandfather, Joseph Marion, who fought in World War II in the Pacific Theater. He was at Saipan, Tinian, Guam. in Iwo Jima.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
and and I just realized that Pacific show you were telling me about. Um, well, no, I didn't see that one, but I saw one similar to the one you were talking about, and it shows, that that bomb that we dropped in Japan, that
It
Hiroshima
literally
bomb.
stopped the world. Like, here's the thing: is
Oh,
we unleashed an energy that it literally was the hand of God touching Earth, is what
yep,
happened.
yep, yep,
And it scared everybody. You wonder
yep,
why a lot of the world hates us to today
yep,
is their governments don't forget what we did to another nation.
yep.
Two atomic weapons have been used in history during warfare, and we dropped both of them. So we did it for a good reason though, because they already
Hmm.
said that if we invade the mainland of Japan, there's going
Yep,
to be multiple millions of casualties because they
yep,
were a group of people that were very stuck in their ways on how they fought their warfare. They were heroes of
yep.
their own. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. They were
It's
so stubborn. The Imperial Japanese and the Emperor were so stubborn. I mean, we firebombed, entire cities
Tokyo. We
first.
firebombed
First.
Tokyo. We firebombed a whole
Yeah.
bunch of them. Yet they
Yep.
would not give up.
Yep.
And we chose, unfortunately, we chose to wipe out, a lot of civilian lives in the flash of an eye. But there were also military structures in those cities. So
Yeah.
eh, even after the first one, the Japanese government literally said they were going to keep on fighting. It
Yep.
took two to make them stop.
Yep.
But yeah,
That's right.
if you ever have the time and have HBO, I
Yeah.
highly suggest you sit down and watch the Pacific. You will
Okay, I
actually
gotta
get
do
a
that,
history
man. I gotta do
because
that.
it's that version. So if you've ever seen Band of Brothers,
Oh yeah,
it was the
yeah.
same people that set that up,
Yep.
but showing the Pacific in the other hand. So
Oh man, I gotta see that. Yeah. No, it's incredible stuff. And I just watched Black Hawk Down the other night.
amazing film,
Just
amazing
just
film.
as a reminder, because I want, I hadn't seen it in a long, long time. And what are young men do for this country and have done for this country, in
Absolutely.
spite of, incompetent leadership, political BS from Washington, not having their backs half the time. I mean, I'm talking about since World War II.
Oh yeah,
Um, and I bet Howard
but
could speak. I bet Howard could speak to this. Um, but they still follow orders. They go and they put their lives on the line. They may be thinking, and it seems like, in that movie, you could see that these Rangers, these special forces, these Rangers, and I forget the other group
yeah.
that was part of
So is
this.
Delta Force.
Delta
So is
Force,
Delta Force,
Delta
and then the
Force.
guys. So
Del-
the fun fact is, you can actually tell the Delta Force guys by the
yeah.
helmets that they're wearing. They were actually
Oh,
wearing non-ballistic helmets. They're bump caps. They're
wow.
basically skateboard helmets. So those guys are the Delta Force. So
What the
when the
heck, man?
Blackhawks went down, they sent in Delta Force to help. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, and it's so ironic of what we're dealing with today, because in Mogadishu and
Yeah.
Somalia, these are the same people that killed us over there, and we
Yep.
invited them here, and now
Exactly.
they're just taking advantage of the situation. I guess there's a
Exactly.
lot of houses that are even being built in Somalia now. And where are they getting
Wow.
all this money? They have
Yeah.
an average IQ of 67.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
they still figured this out as a group of people on how to scam a bunch of people. So that's
Yeah.
where did they figure this out? Where did they get
Yeah.
help?
Yeah. Exactly. Something tells me that mentally ill Han is helping him out big time.
Yep. And that's
But back,
exactly it.
but back to Black Hawk Down just for a second. You can kind of see these soldiers, these special forces, as you say, Delta Force and the Rangers.
Yep.
As they were getting ready for this mission, you could kind of sense, in the movie, and of course, I know it's obviously it's based on a true story.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how true all of this nuanced stuff was, but you can kind of see how they're all kind of looking at each other like, this seems like kind of a suicide mission. I mean,
Oh yeah.
this does not seem very well thought out or well planned out. I mean, I'm
Well,
like,
they even went in with the rules of engagement that they couldn't fire on the enemy
yeah,
until they were fired back. It's like there's a
exactly.
scene where they're laying there in that alleyway,
Yeah,
and he's like, "Why aren't you firing? Because
yeah,
they're not
exactly.
shooting at
Yeah,
us." Then the round cracks over his head, and he's like, "Okay, now they're shooting at us. We can
yeah,
fire back."
yeah,
So
exactly, exactly.
yeah, it's
And
very
I
interesting film.
and I hate to have to remind everyone who was president then, who was the commander in chief then,
Wasn't
Bill
it
Clinton.
Clinton?
Yeah, Bill
Yeah.
Clinton.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Total incompetence from the top. And I'm looking at like the difference between that mission and the Maduro mission.
Well,
And
here's the thing: the Maduro mission, though, is we took down a world leader. We got to give credit to our war fighters. You
yes,
take down another country's leader in under an hour
yes,
with nothing but 20 troops that come out of a helicopter. They did do a lot of like interviews. I guess came out with the Venezuelan security forces.
yeah,
He, one of their soldiers, basically said, and it was the craziest thing. And I loved listening to this because they were just doing their thing, and all of a sudden, all their radar systems shut down at
yeah,
once, and they didn't know what was going on, and they,
yeah,
whatever else, and they killed over 100 of them security forces while losing nobody and no injuries.
yeah,
And this guy that was talking, he said we couldn't even fire back. He's like, it was like being invaded by a technologically
yeah,
advanced like aliens almost.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Because he said that they didn't even fire their weapons because it didn't matter.
yeah.
They used a sonic weapon on them because he said they all
Exactly.
started bleeding from their noses and basically hit the ground. It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah,
Like what we have access to is
yeah.
insane. And it would
Exactly.
scare most people knowing what we have access to.
Exactly. But notice how what time of day did they do this?
Oh, they caught him and sleeping.
Yeah, you
Oh yeah,
and when you watch Black Hawk Down, you're like, they waited till like the afternoon or
right. And
something,
they seen all the
broad
helicopters and
daylight.
see all the guys that were talking on the phones and everything
Yeah,
else. They
it's
were
like
literally showing
they
them.
broadcast to all the bad guys that they were coming. That's not
Yep.
how Trump. That's not how Trump does operations.
And you know what? They shouldn't. Like, you shouldn't tell your enemies what you're gonna do. It
No,
should always be a surprise.
exactly. The element of surprise, right, Howard? I bet Howard's got a lot of interesting insight in here. Because he was the man, dude. He was in the military, and
Oh,
um, oh yeah,
it's awesome. Well, thank
he
you for your
shared
service.
it
If you're still watching, Howard.
exactly, absolutely. Couple more things I'll throw out your way. You still got a
Yeah.
little bit more time? Are you getting tired? You getting sleepy?
No, no, I'm good. I'm good,
Okay,
man. No worries
okay,
about that.
okay. Just let me know when you're getting tired, man. Because you know me, I can go all night.
I can
But
too for the most part.
exactly, exactly. And uh Howard says, "Oh hell yeah, man. We got to get one of these days, Howard, I'm going to pull you into this and you're going to be in Cowboy's spot here and I'm going to interview you if you don't mind. I would love to do that. It would be a huge
Another
honor.
another Minnesotan.
Another Minnesotan, well, he's an Iowan. That's close enough. It's southern Minnesota, don't you know?
Don't you know? Wow, close
I
enough.
I may have to
Iowa
break
might
out
be.
I may have to break out my Iowa jokes
Oh
uh
no.
for Howard. But or Iowa jokes, I should say. But would you be up for that, Howard? Northern Iowa. See, Northern Iowa is southern Minnesota, don't you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. You're just southern Minnesota. You're a
Yeah,
Minnesotan. You're here. You're fine.
yeah, exactly. Man, I used to know some really good Iowa jokes, but it would be a huge honor, Howard, if you'd be up for that, because we would all benefit from your experience and knowledge. And you don't have to share everything because I know what you'd have to do to us if you told us everything. But we would love to hear some cool stories, and just thank you for your service because guys like that don't come around every day. These are people. These are brave men who put their lives on the line for the
Actually,
rest of
somebody
us.
just posted a good question.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah.
saying, does the Constitution or the president carry more power over the country?
Mm,
It is the Constitution because that
yeah.
is the rule of the law of our land, which include immigration laws. I stand with that.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
yes, the Constitution. In order to change your laws,
Yeah.
you got to go to Congress. They gotta change the laws there.
Yep. And guess what? Think about this. What does every um, elected official swear allegiance to, including the president?
Constitution of the United States.
Yeah. Yeah.
Along with that,
Actually,
they're hand on a Bible.
exactly. Unless you're Mom Downey, and then your hand is on the Quran.
I think Omar did the same thing. So hey,
Unbelievable.
that is also, you're going to string me down into this, but I also do
Yeah.
believe that if you are a non-naturalized, like born U.S. citizen, you shouldn't hold office. You should not have any
I
power or say whatsoever in our country.
100%. 100%. All right, let's talk about Greenland just for a second.
Yeah.
So the Greenland acquisition and Arctic national security imperatives. So at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, President Donald Trump said the United States is seeking to acquire Greenland,
Yep.
calling it a core national security interest located between the United States, Russia, and China. It's in a strategic location. Have you guys seen that map where it shows how the missiles, if they were fired in Russia, they would literally go straight over Greenland to reach the United States and Canada?
And do you like so? And I'm just going off what you were saying about the acquisition of Greenland. The majority of our country that we enjoy has been bought in pieces. The
Yeah,
United States literally purchased their way into what we have today.
exactly.
Alaska, the Louisiana Purchase,
That's right.
California, like
Yep.
all of these have already been purchased.
Alaska.
Oh, yep,
Alaska.
Alaska. Here's the
Yep.
thing: is most people forget their history.
Absolutely.
So in March, we're interested in Greenland, and Weston actually just explained that it is a
Mhm.
strategic position that we need. Like we
Yeah.
need to know what our enemies are doing, and in this and
Yeah.
that. We catch Russians in our airspace almost every day. Like almost every day, they're intercepted.
Trump said Greenland is an enormous unsecured Arctic territory and argued that only the United States has the military capability to defend it amid increasing global instability. Nobody else can defend that island. We're the only ones.
No. Well, here's like I said, as I said this earlier today, we are literally the military arm of NATO.
Yeah.
Anywhere that we go, the reason the UN and NATO follow us is because we are the military might of that organization. We have
Yeah.
the largest budget, we have the most troops, we have everything. Like the Danish, who currently oversee Greenland, have a
Mhm.
military fighting force of about 25,000 men and women.
Yeah.
So you look at compared to us, and what are we at now? 1.5 million active duty?
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly. So Trump cited World War II history,
Nice.
which we love, and stated that after Denmark fell to Nazi Germany,
Yep.
the United States established bases on Greenland, the island, and prevented enemy forces from gaining a foothold in the Western Hemisphere.
Yep.
Yeah. So again,
And then,
history matters, right? If you don't know your
absolutely it
history,
does.
you don't know what's going on. You got to know your history. We got 101 people in here. We got 20 likes so far. Hey, if the gold standard has brought you some value, perspective, clarity, encouragement, if you're nodding along, right, and you're going, man, these two guys are saying exactly what I've been thinking, then hey, you're part of the gold standard. Make sure you subscribe. We need you. We need you on our team. And, quite frankly, we need your support so that we can keep doing this. So super chat, super thanks. It's how we keep the lights on. Gifts and jewels. So far we don't have any jewels. So if anybody's got some jewels they want to throw our way, it would mean a lot. It means more than you think. But you know what? No pressure, because more than anything, you know what matters the most is that you're here. So thanks for being here.
If all the haters in these comment strings could turn around and open their own channels and do what we're doing
Yeah.
right now, the world would probably be a better place. Really is kind of sad. Like I'm entertained. Like if you see my eyes going down, I'm actually
Oh yeah.
reading these comments and I'm chuckling at some of them. Some of these
Oh
are
yeah.
pretty funny.
Oh, I
Like
know.
you got a lot of time on your hands, but they're pretty funny. And
I know.
I've
But
actually spent a lot of time in your shoes too, like the commenters. I do this to people all the time,
yeah,
but I'm a little nicer about it and
yeah,
all that stuff.
exactly.
Uh, and Trump isn't looking for war. Trump is looking to put us in a position in case we go to war. You got to
Right.
remember is there are people out there. Not everybody loves us. There are
Yep.
people out there like countries that do not like us.
Yep.
China, we owe them a lot of money. And they
Yep.
don't like us. They flat out they own properties here, and I don't agree with that either. That's also a comment that you should, or something you should look at. Is the Chinese
Mhm.
actually own a lot of farmland and stuff here too because they can't feed their own people.
Yep.
It's literally about space. So
Yep. Yep.
I
Exactly.
agree, Oscar. Voter ID and term limits, 100%. Good
Yes.
comment. So
Absolutely.
great comment.
Absolutely. And if you want me to personally read your comment or question live on the show, super chats are the way to
Oh, you're
go.
jealous of my somebody's jealous of my beard. You see that in your comments there?
Oh, they're very jealous. They're
Oh
so
yeah.
jealous of
They
us. It's
wish they could
crazy.
grow a beard.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The comment section of my live stream is proof that we're touching a nerve.
Oh
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you for confirming our thesis, because every negative comment, every insult is proof that number one, you don't have an argument. Number two, we've touched on three. Uh, we're too important to ignore.
Exactly. And I'll
You know?
add one thing in there. So the people that actually care about the conversation here, if you're still here, drop likes. Like
Yes,
literally, set it free, smash the screen, hit like. Like we're just
exactly,
having a conversation. You're welcome to come along. Like it's,
exactly,
we may not 100% agree on things, but it makes the conversation even more fun.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I appreciate people that disagree. So disagree in good faith. Don't drop insults and stupidity. Um, let's see. Trump criticized Denmark for failing to meet defense commitments, noting that a $200 million pledge made in 2019 to strengthen Greenland's defenses resulted in less than 1% of the funds being spent and no visible defense presence. So, another broken promise by Denmark and the Europeans. I mean, sorry, yeah, Denmark.
Yeah. And people don't actually even know that. Most people don't realize that Greenland literally falls under Denmark. Like they are hand in hand is what they are. So
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
interesting. Most people don't know that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Denmark was owned by or Greenland was owned by Denmark or whatever. It's
So
like
I don't know
what?
how that exactly works, but I do know the Danish
Yeah.
military is there, and the Danish government actually do have a lot of say what's happening in Greenland. They might
I
be a
mean it
territory of theirs.
yeah, it's definitely something like that cuz they're not independent. They're definitely a territory of Greenland or sorry, of Denmark or whatever, you know.
And March, and
Um
I'm having fun actually having a good conversation. This person's actually been pretty decent. So
okay.
is Greenland is probably going to be acquired with money and
Yeah.
contracts.
Yeah.
Just like any other
So
territories change hands, U.S. Virgin Islands, we bought them.
yeah.
Puerto
It's a real
Rico, we
estate
bought them.
transaction. It's a real estate
Absolutely, we're buying
transaction.
land.
And who's the real estate guru involved here? Donald J. Trump.
The art of the deal.
Exactly. King Trump. By the way, I should probably let people know that this is satire. Because I have to explain this all the time.
Oh God, yeah.
But I'm not saying that Trump is king. Come on. It's all tongue in cheek. Have a little sense of humor, okay? Jesus is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. I'm just playing along with all the no kings people who think Trump is
Hey,
a
and people should be
king.
a little nicer when you say that you're dumb or somebody like that. Use the proper use of your. Go back
Yeah,
to the Leering Center.
exactly. Exactly. All right, so that's Greenland. The Green New Deal. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But the bottom line is it's going to help everybody. It's going to be a win-win-win, win-win-win, and maybe even a win-win-win-win, especially Europe. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a good thing overall. I remember when Trump first floated the idea, no pun intended.
Right?
I thought it sounded kind of crazy. I'm like,
Well,
what is he talking about? Why do we care about Greenland? But he was like 8 steps ahead of everybody.
and
That's
that's
what
the
I
thing too,
love
is because
about
I
Trump.
didn't look at it like that either. I was just like, what do you
Yeah,
why is like, why are we going after Greenland? Like,
yeah, yeah,
isn't it just an
exactly.
icy glacier? Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
most people, just for the explanation that people that aren't that smart,
yeah.
Greenland's covered in ice, while Iceland is actually not too bad. So that's how it is.
It's all strategery, and here's what I think is really. Trump obviously really likes ice.
Yeah, there is minerals, and people are making comments. Yes, there are
Bum,
there are
bum,
minerals
bum.
there because at the end of the day, we're always in a resource battle.
Yeah,
Always.
exactly. Always, always. And in my opinion, it comes down to this. We got 111 people in here.
Amazing.
This is amazing. 32 likes. We got $10 in gifts. Let's make it 20. Come on. We can make it $20 in gifts. And make sure you subscribe. If you're new to the channel, we just have a great time talking about what matters. We talk about the two things that matter: politics and religion. And I always say those are the two things that nobody wants to talk about. You're not supposed
No.
to talk about those two things. But when you think about it, those are the two things that really matter. Politics is just the discussion about who makes the decisions that rule your life, who are the leaders, how do we choose
Yep.
the leaders, how are decisions made. That's kind that you're not going to talk about it, then guess what? Somebody else will. And somebody else will make the decisions for you that you're going to have to live with. You're going to have to live
Absolutely.
with somebody else's decisions.
And you need to do your research when it comes to that. It doesn't matter right or left. Here's the thing is
Yeah.
whatever happened to back in the day when you could, support, like, let's say you got sick of the Democrats who are in power, and then you looked at it like, oh, okay, this Republican's a little bit better. But
Yep.
no, now you have diehards that literally say things like just vote blue no matter who. And it's like,
Yep.
that's dangerous. That is a dangerous sentiment. Very
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah. Exactly. And religion is the discussion of what is life all about? What's the purpose of life? What happens after you die? So when you think about it, those are the two most important questions in life. Who's going to make your decisions in your
Yep.
society? Who's going to lead? How are decisions going to be made? Who's going to make the and what's the purpose of life? What happens after you die?
I
Two
mean,
pretty important things
even
when
in
you
the
think about it.
Bible, when Jesus was coming, and they said that the governments shall be on his shoulders. Like
Yes.
this is what it is. At the end, we're
Yep.
you might think it's funny, but maybe we do live in a simulation. But at the end of the day, we're looking at the end of the road. So all this
Oh,
stuff that we do here is for the
yeah.
glory of ourselves and everything else. But at the end of the road, it doesn't matter.
No.
At the
No.
end of the road, doesn't matter. I seen somebody that literally popped, and Christ was not religious. So
Yeah.
Christ actually
No.
hated centralized religion. I
Exactly.
don't agree with the Catholic Church. I'm not Catholic, whatever else. I agree with the same thing. I may not go to church weekly, but it doesn't mean that I don't have a relationship with Christ. So
Right.
that's the big thing that it comes down to is a personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And that's the
Amen.
way that it should look about. So all this stuff that we do
Amen.
today is temporary. And
Yep.
we sit and get angry about it and we fight and this and that, but it shouldn't be like that.
Yep.
Is it all should be for the glory of God. At the end of the day, it all
Absolutely.
should be for the glory of God.
Absolutely. I love it, brother. Amen.
Amen.
Never vote blue. That's probably one of the best comments I've seen in the chat so far.
Well, and again, that's where you're falling into that whole situation of how about we do the research and learn and then vote
Yeah,
for the correct person. But
exactly.
unfortunately, we haven't seen a good person on the blue side since
No.
JFK. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the Democratic Party unfortunately died with JFK when
Yeah.
like the way it
Yeah.
was when Lyndon B.
Yeah.
Johnson took over, he
Yeah.
was not the greatest president in the world. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it, it is what
And
it
here's
is.
the thing. I don't know much about JFK because I wasn't around then. I can thankfully say I'm not quite that old. But he had his goods and his bads, like everybody.
Yep.
Democrat that I will say, um, that was the last good Democrat, in my opinion. One of the last good Democrats, honestly, was Jimmy Carter. He was a
Yeah.
absolutely horrible president,
But
but
he was a good person.
he was a good person. He was a believer in Jesus. He was a born again Christian.
Amazing.
He was a good person, and I think he really genuinely wanted to do the right thing. He just was incompetent, and he wasn't a good leader. He didn't know how to lead. He didn't know how to be president.
And
Um,
somebody actually made a good comment. Again, I know you like the super chat stuff, but
oh yeah,
and I'll say
no,
this:
it's
I'm
fine.
not a YouTube partner. I do this for
Yeah,
free. Like,
yeah,
and I come out
yeah,
of my own one. It says somebody here said, "I love the trolling you're getting. They're still driving up your algorithm.
yep,
They are dumping on you, but they're the dumb ones. It's our page or your
exactly,
page. They're
exactly,
helping us. Thank you.
exactly.
So
Yep.
I'm gonna,
Well,
everybody here that agrees with what we're
you're not
saying,
supposed to tell them that. You're not supposed to tell them that. Just kidding.
they already know. Most of these, well, maybe if they have an IQ higher than 67, you'd know. But
Right. Exactly.
you know, okay, let's talk. Okay, so somebody asked to talk about Greenland. We were just talking about it. The
Yeah.
cheapest way to increase our security posture, NATO. So here's the thing: is we've been unfairly treated by NATO for many years.
Yeah.
And Trump addressed that in his first presidency
Yep.
is it was completely unfair what was going on in the talks about us leaving NATO. If
Yep.
that's what it takes, it scares them because again, we are the defense, we are the shield of NATO.
Yep.
Because when they need help, we go, and it's vice
Yeah.
versa as it should be. We
Yeah.
weren't the only
Exactly.
ones fighting in Iraq. We had NATO members that were there.
Yep.
We are all one big alliance. That's what it is.
Yep.
And if you're not pulling your share of the weight, you know,
Yeah.
is it really worth us
And
being
Trump was the first one to call him out and say, you guys have been getting a free ride for decades, and nobody's
there?
ever had the kahunas to hold you guys accountable. And we're footing the bill. You guys, we're basically giving you guys your security,
Absolutely. And
and you're
most
not
of those countries weren't even paying their bills.
paying their fair share. As Otto Penn, Joe Biden love to say, they need to pay their fair share. Talking about the rich and
Oh
taxes,
yeah.
of course, right?
And
They need to
taxes,
pay their the
that's
rich need to
something you
pay
can
their
get me
fair
on
share.
too. Like, is they do pay taxes. The rich pay a lot of taxes,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
do find ways out of it. But there is rules in there. If you don't like what they do and what they take advantage of,
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
it.
Change the laws. Change the laws
Call
if you don't
your
like them.
representatives and change the laws.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Hey, if you want us to read a comment or question, or if you want me to read a comment or question, Cowboy's a little more lenient.
I
Super
am sorry.
chats, it's fine. Super chats are the way to go. So shoot me a super chat. I would love to respond to a comment or question because, I know you guys want me
And
to.
that's not true. So somebody said that I'm blatantly reading Republican ones. That's not true. Is what we're ignoring is the people sending hate. And if you had an actual
Yeah.
question, I probably missed it.
Yeah.
That's all it
Exactly.
comes down to.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Well, let's go back to ICE for just a second. So, did you guys see this one? Anti ICE church disruption organizer over $1 million from anti poverty nonprofit leadership. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make
no.
this stuff up. So, her name is Nikki Levy Armstrong, and she helped organize and lead the group of approximately 30 to 40 anti-ICE protesters that stormed into that church called City's Church in St. Paul, disrupting a Christian worship service for roughly 20 minutes and triggering a federal Department of Justice invitation, or sorry, investigation. And here's what's sorry, and
Yeah,
here's
you're
what's
done.
well, it was kind of an invitation.
It is an invitation. It's not a
Yeah,
voluntary one.
yeah, exactly. I mean, be careful what you ask for, right? Armstrong served as executive director of something called the Wayfinder Foundation.
Okay.
I'm sure they get money. A Minneapolis-based anti-poverty nonprofit from 2019 to 2024, while publicly engaging in activist organizing. And during that 6 year period, Armstrong received more than $1.1 million in total compensation, including salary benefits, according to tax filings. What say you, Cowboy?
Where's that money? Like, what are they using it for? Obvious for a nonprofit and should be used for that, but I guarantee that she's driving a fancy vehicle and all these
Oh,
other
yeah.
things. It's like the
Oh, yeah.
BLM deal. So when
Yeah.
you look at BLM, they took all that money and they were buying expensive houses, expensive cars. Same thing with feeding our
Yeah.
future. Is all they're
Yeah.
doing is taking advantage of this money,
Yep.
and it's coming to light. Anything you do in the dark, God said, is going to be brought to the light.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Don Lemon because he thought that he'd be able to use journalism as a shield here. Hey, I'm just a journalist. I'm just a journalist. I'm just interviewing people. That's all. I just happened to be here at the right place at the right time. Who knew? Who knew?
Yeah. Well, it's like that other guy that I can't remember what his name is. That the farmer guy or whatever else that's been running around. He
Yeah,
always wears the fishing cap or whatever the hell
yeah,
he's wearing. Yeah,
beard.
that guy, the
Yeah,
loudmouth.
yeah,
So it's the same thing in him. You don't think that he's getting GoFundMe and paid for doing what
yeah.
he's doing, being a
Oh yeah,
provocateur?
he's
And
definitely paid.
again, this comes both ways. And you've seen what happened to Jake Lang when he went to
Yep,
Minneapolis.
yep,
And not that I agree 100% with what he says, but
yeah.
at the same
Right,
time, you should never fully agree with anybody. That's a
right.
stipend.
But he
Always
has a
question
right.
for
He has a
yourself.
right to say what he believes, right?
He had a protected right, was not breaking any laws,
Mhm.
and they beat him. They stabbed him. They threw water on him. Mind you, it was 7 degrees outside. So they beat him bloody along with several other people for speaking his mind. He was using his protected constitutional right, and there was a failure on the Minneapolis Police Department to protect him doing
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And
No,
the same thing, like he said, he goes around, he is a provocateur. Don't get me wrong, he is. But at the same time, you do not need to get your ass beat for something like that.
no,
He's doing what they are doing.
no, no. Uh,
So,
yeah, no, I totally agree. I forget that guy's name. I had it. Is it Williams or something like that? I'll look it up here.
yeah,
Um, but I wanted to come back to Armstrong for a second. Speaking of BLM, did you know that she was also, um,
he was saved by Black Panthers. Just so you know, they were
oh
Black
yeah,
Panthers that saved him. And
oh, Wow, I did
And they
not
knew
know
what
that.
would happen. Yeah, the guys that you see in there with the fists, like they were part of the Black Panthers, I'm pretty sure. So,
Oh,
and I
yeah,
watched the whole thing while it was happening, and him getting dragged into the crowd. They would have done some horrible things to him in the crowd.
yeah,
Like he would not have probably made it out the other end.
yeah, yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Anyways, Armstrong was also the president of the Minneapolis chapter of the NAACP. So she's been doing a lot of this, you know,
yeah.
type of stuff for a long time, and it's just crazy, man.
No, it's absolutely crazy. And then so, and again, I do address people more freely than you do. But
That's
Darth, what
fine.
did you mean by that? He said that he was a sellout, not a Panther. What do you mean by that? Like, it's a general question. It actually sparks a little interest what you have to say.
Yeah,
So I don't know, but I don't agree that it should have happened the way it happened.
yeah,
Is that's why I honestly, as a Minnesotan, I'm really sick of the rhetoric that keeps happening in this state. I am
yeah.
not proud of any of these people anymore.
No,
And in like I said, is the way we talk about it and we talk about religion at the same time is, and I'm going to come back to it every time, is we are in a spiritual battle. That is what
yeah,
is happening. We are
yeah,
being driven into a spiritual battle, and you can't
exactly.
ignore it. It's in our faces every day.
Yep, exactly.
Mhm.
Oh, I got an idea. Let's talk about the whole neighbor thing. I brought this up earlier today in my live stream. But I think it's fascinating that these ice moms in Minnesota with the minivans, the minivan
Yeah,
mafia, they
the
love to
minivan.
use
I like it.
the phrase neighbor. Have you noticed that? And it's kind of like the Minnesota nice thing, I guess, where they're like, "Oh, it's
Oh,
our
protect our
neighbors."
neighbors and this and
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, we're
no,
just protecting our neighbors because Jesus told us to love our neighbors, don't you know? Well,
yeah.
what was interesting was there was a one of these ice moms who put a TikTok video up that basically was trying to dox
Oh,
who
is this
lives
the
in
lady that helped break into the back of that FBI car?
maybe. And
Yeah, on
and
live
she
stream was releasing a whole bunch of info.
and she figured out where this guy lived. And turns out it's her neighbor. They live in the same neighborhood, and she was basically saying, "Hey, everybody, I know where this guy lives. He lives right around the corner from where I live. You should come by and, harass him and give him a hard time or
Yeah,
whatever," which is totally illegal. Um,
absolutely.
but I thought the irony was interesting because here she's talking about an ICE agent who is literally her neighbor, and it's the very same people that are saying we're just protecting our neighbors. But what about the ICE agents? Are they not your neighbor as well?
Absolutely.
And in this case, he's literally her neighbor. Lives in her
That's
same
terrible. Like,
neighborhood.
I'd be very upset if I found out that that happened to me. It's the same thing as they raided that church or whatever during the whole thing because
Yeah.
they thought that the pastor was the like area commander for ICE. Who
Yeah.
cares if he is? That's his job.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Show up at a place of worship just to heckle a guy that's not even the guy you're looking for?
Yep. Exactly.
Well,
I just got to call out hypocrisy when I see it and call out the double standard when I see it. Um, Yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling through my X account here. There's a lot of interesting things. The really interesting thing that I think is going to be really interesting to see is not only um, you know, Walls and Fry and all those guys, but Ilhan is officially under investigation. And when they start pulling the receipts of that money and where that $30 million came
like
from,
I said, she when that feeding our future stuff. The
yep,
fact that she held some of her stuff at those restaurants and stuff, and there are members of her, race and society, whatever that be, the proper
mhm,
word for it. How do
yep.
you not know this is going on? How
Yeah.
how do you not know this?
No, no. I mean, all you got to do is if you're aware of the numbers, the amount of money going out the door. If you're
Yep,
aware of the amount of money going out the door, that alone should tell you, wait a minute, hold on, hold on, hold on. That's a lot of money going out the door. We we got
Yeah, they're not small numbers. It's
No,
not small
no,
amounts.
no.
Why don't they have more oversight? The fact, and again,
Exactly.
going back into the daycare stuff, why don't you have more oversight of people that are coming in and inspecting where their money is going?
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
all we can ask for is more oversight to how this money is being spent, irresponsibly being sent out.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, the sheer numbers should tell you something's not right. Yeah. I mean, even if
No,
you weren't watching everything, every penny, and seeing the fraud, you know, the number, the amount of money that's going out the door, and the billions and billions and billions of dollars, and it's crazy that a state can take our federal tax dollars. A single state can do that. It seems like there should be some stop guardrails in place that say, "Hey, wait a minute. One state can't just like take all this money from the rest of the country." You know, that's what's
absolutely.
really crazy to me.
Because it's not just state funded, it's federal funds.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
I
It's
can
like it's
understand, so the federal government, I can understand where, money will go missing because you're talking about trillions of dollars,
yeah,
and to know where every single dollar is going. Like, look at the Doge thing. I don't know how much
yeah.
you believe in that, but like some of
Oh
the
yeah,
stuff for like Sesame Street in
yeah.
Afghanistan,
Oh
if
yeah.
you don't think that that money is not black funds for CIA operations, I don't know what's
Exactly.
wrong with it. It's funneled money, and they do
Exactly.
that. They hide it in plain sight, and these are
Yeah.
going for black projects.
Yeah.
And
More thing I wanted to mention. Right
yeah,
on the rise. Right on the rise, Howard. Yes. Yes, indeed, my friend. Um, I just saw another little interesting headline that tomorrow, ex special counsel Jack Smith will testify publicly before the House Judiciary Committee. Did you guys know
really,
this?
I did
Yeah.
not see that.
If anyone better represents the vengeful, reckless, punitive destructive lawfare against President Trump and his associates, it's special counsel Jack
Wow,
Smith.
amazing.
That's going to be interesting. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one tomorrow for sure, eh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like it. You didn't even do that on purpose. That's the funny thing.
You can
Hey,
take the boy out of Minnesota, but you can't take Minnesota out of the boy, don't you know?
don't you know? So now, and we're all Minnesota nice in here. I love
Exactly.
that we get called bootlicker and racist and all this stuff, and we
Yeah.
don't say any of this. That's
No,
the best part.
no,
And
no.
we have people that agree us. Look at this. You've got 72 people that are watching us just have a conversation and 34
Absolutely.
likes. There are
Yeah.
some hecklers in there, but I think we
Yeah.
need more people to double tap that stream. Like double
Yeah.
tap your screen.
Come on now.
So
Come on. Give us
I
some likes, man. And I'm going to tell you right now, Cowboy, why that is. You want to know why?
I want to know why.
Because I'm a big shot.
Big old fake cigar. Nice. Oh no.
Don't you know? And you know what? Howard and I are going to have a cigar in Arizona in a few days. So
Oh really? That's
that's, oh, yeah.
awesome.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
cool.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Sure. You betcha.
You betcha, eh?
Yeah. But we're just Minnesota nice here. And you know what's great, Cowboy, is that with all the haters, we just return hate with love.
Well,
And
that's
that
exactly it. Like
and th-
that's kind of strange, isn't it?
and that's what they hate the most. That's what that's the thing they can't stand, right? Not only when you tell them that you're doing is fueling the algorithm and helping me out, helping you out, but when we just return hate with love.
I literally can say it that I have no hate in my heart. There are
No.
people here that say stuff.
Yeah.
eh, at the end of the day, is pray for thy enemy, love
Yep.
thy enemy, and so on and
Yep.
so forth. At the
Yep.
same time, it's like I don't feel bad about like the illegals being deported home. I hope they wish them well. They broke the
Yep.
law. It is what
Yep.
it is. Change the law. If you don't
Exactly.
like it, change it.
Exactly. Exactly
No,
right, man. Exactly right. Well, I think we've pretty much done what we came to do here tonight.
that's amazing.
Um, this was amazing. This was really amazing. How many people in here truly enjoyed and appreciated this conversation? Give us some love. Give us some hearts. Give us some good comments. Give us some likes. and make sure you subscribe because that's the best way you can show your support.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is once too is I love getting called a maggot and all this stuff. Not
Yeah.
once did I ever get called or did I ever claim MAGA. Do I? I don't. I've never claimed it. I
Yeah.
don't trust. Let's put it this way: I don't fully trust our government as is. I
Right.
read between the lines and I try to do my research on it. So that's the
Definitely.
thing: is I can think for myself, and that's at the end of the day should be the goal for everybody. Learn
Yeah.
to think for yourselves. We're all
Absolutely.
adults here.
Exactly. Do your own research, you know. And the only reason that, I say MAGA is I just agree with the what it stands for. It stands for Make America Great Again. That's the only reason why I say I'm MAGA.
Yeah.
I agree with that statement. Let's make America. Does that mean I fully
Well,
trust everyone and everything? No, I'm
yeah,
not that dumb.
absolutely. So
I may be
and
dumb, but
that's
I
it.
ain't
MAGA, like
stupid.
that thing, it just pisses people off though. It's amazing when you say MAGA, the Make America Great Again. Why
Yep.
does that make everybody angry? Like I don't,
I
I
know.
don't. Don't you want
That's
to
the
live
thing
in a
I don't
great
get.
nation?
No.
Like I don't understand that.
You know what? We need to do a whole video on that. All right. So the next time we get together, and we do because we want to keep doing this. We're going to do this every Wednesday night,
Oh,
at a
so
minimum,
and
if that works for
we
you.
should. Wednesday night would be great. Like that
Yep.
doesn't bother me at all. So my eye is on. I've got my chat going on the side here too, and
Oh, good.
I
Yeah, yeah,
apologize for people that pop in here and whatever else. And I've been
yeah.
very involved here. But somebody made a comment saying there's a bill going before the Senate next week called the minibus bill with $5.6 billion going to refugees. I didn't know that. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And speaking of make America great again, um, guess what? We're going to make the rainbow great again too.
amazing. And again, I'll say it every time. Most people don't understand the true meaning of the rainbow.
No, they don't. They
They really
truly
don't.
don't. And by the way, speaking of that, I wrote a book about that. Just want to mention. It's called Make the Rainbow Great Again. And all it is just talking about how the rainbow was from the Bible and it was, God invented the rainbow.
Yep.
And it was co opted in 1978 by a guy named Gilbert Baker, Vietnam veteran, and have a whole history on that in here. It's very interesting how that whole thing got started. And so, yeah, you can check out my book on Amazon. It's the
Amazing.
first book I've ever written that has words in it, which is kind of in and of itself kind of funny. But man, this has just been great. This has just been great. And Cowboy, thank you so much for joining the Gold Standard tonight.
Not a problem at all.
If you're able and willing, we're going to do this every Wednesday night, and it's going to be great.
Absolutely. That's fun. As we get into more, I love how we try to knock out our original talking point and then we go off into these tangents. It's amazing. Actually,
I
I
know.
really enjoy the
I know.
conversation just because it's fluid, you know.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, and we're going to make YouTube great again. That's our
Make
goal,
YouTube great again.
right?
Like we're going to use our First Amendment to have a conversation in which people will be, involved with. And Howard, you're very
Yeah.
welcome. And yes, I wear a cross on my hat. I am a follower of
Yeah,
Jesus
that's awesome.
Christ. So
Amen.
that's how it is. And it's not
Yeah.
silly to me. Like I truly
Oh,
was, you know, reborn in the blood of Jesus Christ.
yep. And that's another symbol that we could talk about. Just like the rainbow, the cross is a symbol, and the Bible says that the cross is foolishness to those who don't believe, but to those of us who believe, it is salvation. So there you go.
And how do you and again, I love it towards the end here since we're tapering off anyways. So somebody says that I do not represent the cross. I don't act as a Christian. Do you know me personally?
Yeah, that's
Do you
silly.
know me? Have we spent time together?
Yeah,
I've got friends and family that can truly attest that I've had full-on conversations, and I'm very well versed and very well knowledge. I am not perfect,
yeah,
and nobody is. Nobody is as perfect as the blood of the lamb. That's
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 right.
how it goes. We
That's right.
strive, and we will mess up throughout the day. So
Of course. And
yeah,
to anybody who tries to say something like that to you, cowboy, you know what I say?
what's that?
That would be another example of, as you say, fake news.
It's fake news. It's fake news. Yep,
Fake news.
absolutely.
Fake news. Well, that, my friends, is the gold standard. No filter, no fear, just pure gold. I want to say a great thank you to
You're very welcome. We'll see you
Cowboyarrell,
on Wednesday too.
and what's that?
We'll see you on Wednesday again.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll be back in a week on Wednesday night, maybe even sooner. Who knows? And both of us will be back online on our own channels doing live streams. I'll be back tomorrow. And I want to encourage my audience to check out Cowboy's channel and vice
I do a lot
versa,
of things.
you know?
Just so you guys know, I do a lot of different things. It's not just politics.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do a lot of live streaming video games. But I'll talk to you guys
Yeah.
if you want to just sit down and have
Yeah.
conversations.
Oh, that's
Absolutely,
great.
I have no
That's
problem
awesome.
interacting with everybody.
That's awesome, man. I love that. I love that. Cowboy, you are a true gentleman.
Thanks,
And
sir.
I just always appreciate hanging out with you. Appreciate your perspective. Love your attitude. Love your authenticity. And you're the best. So
Thank you. I appreciate
I'm really
that.
glad that this channel brought us together, and that just from me doing stupid videos, you found me, and turns out we're both originally from Minnesota, don't you know? And it just is so cool
Wonderful.
how it's so cool how God works things out. God knows what he's doing. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Everything is
Amen.
divine appointment. And he brings people together in mysterious ways. And I'm excited about the future. The future is bright. The golden age is before us. And
Absolutely.
we have Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, on our side. And he's the one that really matters in the end. So
Amen. At
thank
the
you
end of
so
the day,
much.
that's what we all strive for. So,
Yep. Yep.
and just like, I'll end it too is wherever you do it all for the glory of God.
Amen.
That's First Corinthians. So
Amen.
keep God in mind.
Amen. Amen, brother. Awesome. Stay bold, stay gold. We'll see you guys next time.
All
Love
right,
you
guys,
all.
have a good
Chap,
one.
you still there, buddy? Who's all watching left on my channel? Flip over my. I'm gonna close these. Is all right, there I am. How's everybody doing? Anybody still watching from then? I'm just stopping and saying hello, Cap, if you're still there. I apologize for the ones that are have been watching that I haven't acknowledged, but I was focusing more or less on being a guest of that show. So anybody that's still here, thank you guys for watching. Catch me on live. I might play some stuff with a friend of mine coming up in a few weeks. I'm gonna look at doing some stuff. So until then, you guys have a good night.